Hey guys, it's Lucy,
And this is Alcarin.
and we're bringing you that sweet, sweet.
Dual commentary. Oh my god! Oh my god! So, we wanted to bring you an episode that showed you all the different issues that we're experiencing in ARK Primitive Plus, and some of the commentary that the dev through what was it, Twitter? Uh,
Correct.
yeah, that said to us, and what are the plans, hopefully, to fix this. So, first off, I wanted to go over the Ingrams, right, Lucy?
Absolutely. And we just also wanted to make sure to let all of you know we appreciate your patience as we haven't been putting out as many videos because it has had complications, which makes it hard for us to actually do videos and building for you guys. And we just thank you so much.
And just if you like the video, please hit that like button. Keep watching, keep subscribing, and we'll bring you more content as fast as we can as soon as all this is fixed. So looking at the Ingrams here, I'm looking, and if you scroll down, you can see, look at this. Scope attachments learnable, grenades are learnable, metal foundation, metal wall. I don't think all of the non-primitive are available, maybe all, but it's enough to the point where it's no longer primitive. So we've got people running around with grenade launchers, rocket launchers, C4, metal turrets. It's no longer primitive, and that makes it hard to play. It makes us want to have to wipe the server back to what it was.
Our other option is we don't, and then we either let everybody keep what they have, or we hope that the dev is able to pull everything. So I asked him, during the update, are you going to be able to pull the non-primitive stuff? He says, oh, of course I can do that. Who do you think got rid of all the preserving campfires? And I'm thinking, that's not something to be proud of, because people lost their fertilized eggs, their eggs and their kibble, thousands, and all the hard
Exactly.
work.
Exactly. So when they lost all that stuff, we had to rebuild it, and there was no forethought put into it. And that's just a small dent in some of the issues that we're experiencing. Keep in mind, on ARC Primitive Plus, brick tier is top tier, and it's supposed to be equivalent to metal, which I agree with. That's a new recent change as of what, June 5th? So
Yeah.
moving forward, I'm going to kind of show you guys, if you're not familiar, how you would normally make brick. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong or if the process has changed. So let's say I've got my pickaxe. If you want to follow me, Lucy, come on.
Absolutely.
So let's just run up to a node, and the two things you want to gather are clay and limestone, which I think clay can be gotten with a pick or an Anki on a regular metal, or not metal, a regular stone node. So as you see, I got 28 clay stone and a bunch of other things, and I think we have limestone back at the base.
Yes, I have oopals and oopals.
And limestone, the way you acquire it is that you take a pick to a metal node, and that's typically how you get it, or an Anki. And this is what you do with it. You take it back to the house, to the forge, or whatever. Not the forge, but the hand mill. Come on in.
And don't forget to show everybody that we have the Ingram. It shows that we have the Ingram.
All right, so I have a pre-made bucket of clay before all the changes, but as it sits, you take your clay stone and your limestone, and you put it in a hand mill. And the way that we know this is, you go into your Ingrams. What is it? Buckets of clay. Looking at the buckets of clay. Whoops. Clay. All right, looking at buckets of clay, it says here, the Ingrams learned clay that has been formed from grinding clay stone and limestone. Right, Lucy?
Yeah, so this just shows that this guy may be very smart, but he puts very little attention to all the details. He doesn't even spell things correct in the game. I mean, at this point, he needs to be focusing on this heavily.
Okay, so the way it typically works here is you have the Ingram learned, and it shows up inside the hand mill, but it's no longer here, right? But you would throw the clay stone in, and I don't see the Ingram. And if a lot of you might say, oh well, you need to learn it or do it some other way. I don't think you can craft anything in these hand mills.
I
So
don't know about not anything, but I know for a fact that you would have the bucket of clay as an option right when you go into the hand mill.
gotcha. So like just as an example, I'm going to throw some chitin in here and some keratin and see if we can make cementing paste. See if we can make anything because that might actually work. So I got chitin, I've got stone. The mortar and pestle still work. That's a valid workaround for sure. Boom, boom. It looks like, oh, you see how the cementing paste highlights, but I can't actually craft anything. And to prove that I have the Ingram, cementing paste is learned. So we can't make, I don't think we can make anything in this hand mill. That's another problem. And without being able to make buckets, typically you get your buckets of clay from grinding it this way. So moving forward, on Primitive Plus, you only have a refining forge. You don't have industrial forges, or at least you shouldn't, right? You go up to your forge and you're supposed to drop these buckets of clay into the forge. But as you can see, I can't hit T, I can't drag and drop, I can't even put a bucket of clay into the refining forge to even cook it to make brick. So as it sits, it's physically impossible for any new players that don't already have brick made to make any brick walls to make top tier. And that really turns a lot of people off on wanting to play the mod.
It does. And I know that the people had heard rumors that they were potentially going to change the brick, and that was why it broke. I spoke to the dev about this as well, and that in fact is incorrect. And we are going to have the same brick as our option. So why did it break? Why is it still not working? Why are we not putting out little patches versus working on a huge one? These are things that I find myself wondering when I'm very limited on what I can do on the game.
And you contacted the dev, which was said, correct?
That is correct.
Via Twitter, and we're going to throw up some of those comments in this video to be able to show you what some of his responses were as he's working on this. Another thing I'd like to show you while we're here is the grindstone. This is to help you make, I think, what is it, battle axes and war axes. Let me look up the Ingram real quick.
Something you made a really good point about earlier, Alcarin, when we were talking about doing the video was why he doesn't prepare us to let us know the changes he's going to make. We are constantly faced with, overspawning dinos in an area, crashing the servers. Just there's bugs that are happening on a frequent basis, and we understand he's one man and not putting him down for that. It's just it feels like there's little regard for all the hours that all the players are putting in.
There you go. So here, I'm looking under the Ingram list. You can see the battle axe here is learned, and I think there's a war axe. Let me pull that up. Excuse me, it's a Viking axe, and both of these, both the Viking axe and the battle axe are supposed to be made in the grindstone, which is right here in front of me. So when I open up the inventory, you can see weapons, you can see primitive, you can see melee, and you can see the Viking axe, but I can't see the battle axe. So I don't understand that. Some of the requirements to be able to make some of this stuff, as you can see, is steel ingots, wood, and hide. For last I checked, you can put steel ingots in, you can put wood in, but you cannot put hide, and we're going to prove that. All right, here we go. Let me grab some hide. I think we got it in one of these bins. Bear with me. We've kind of stopped playing until a fix is implemented, and I don't exactly remember where everything is. So as you can see, I can't drop hide in the grindstone. So that's kind of going to limit you on what you can build in this. I know you can throw, I think you can throw the other items in just to prove it. Let's try it. We need to get some wood and or steel ingots. I'm looking for some wood right now. Try to get some wood. Let's see, boom. Oh, I think I have some steel ingots also. And I know most of you saw the battle axe already in my inventory, and you're probably wondering, how did you get that battle axe if you can't craft it? I'm going to show you. So going back to the grindstone, you can throw in the steel ingots, you can throw in the wood, you can't throw in the hide. So crafting it is impossible. Now, here we go. This is another weird bug. You demolish the grindstone, make another one. I think it's made on the smithy table. Let me check it out. Not the smithy table. It's made on the construction table. I apologize. Apologize. There it is. All right, as you can see, I'm crafting a grindstone. Throwing that in my 5 slot. Placing it right here. And all is fine and dandy, right? What's really odd is, oh no, there's a battle axe here. And as you can see, it's a different quality than the first one. Well, the first one I got before, I think it was ramshackle, right? And if you drag it, you gain yourself a battle axe. That's all fine and dandy. I think that's a bug. But still, we can't put hide in this thing. Still bugged. So that doesn't seem to help. I can go through and build the hand mill, but I don't think I need to. I think people know that rebuilding the hand mill doesn't fix the issue. So Lucy, what are some of the other things we wanted to show off here on some of these bugs, some of the things we could do?
Well, I know that the cooked meat, sometimes it won't stack after being split. Bears are not eating honey during a tame. Greenhouse walls are not being placed. And some people are also complaining that it's not giving you the ghost shadow to show you where it could be placed. I feel that's most likely why it's not placing, is because you don't have that. The modern hanging shelves are not hanging. Ceiling lamps hurt you when you stand above them on the next floor. We've also got chicken doesn't spoil, it just disappears. And we have 2 other big topics that we wanted to go over, and that was the spacing in the walls, and we also wanted to go over removing the non-primitive items, because our thought is if you don't remove everything that's non-primitive, nobody's going to want to come over to a server where they are stuck with primitive and everybody else has high-tech gear.
So Lucy, let's cover that as our closing argument. Let's go take a look at the spacing issue first. So let's grab a bird.
Good.
I think, do we have any birds down here that we can use?
I think maybe one. I can stay down otherwise.
I can fly and carry you up if we have one. Let's see. Help me search here. Are all our birds up top? Oh, I see there's Black Talon right there. I'm going to carry you. You ready?
10-4.
Are you in a position to be picked up?
I should be. Head over to the
Are
other
you
side
available
of
to
the
be picked up?
I'm available.
Here we go. I'm going to get right up on you. Stay still while I come up from behind.
Sounds good.
You keep moving. It makes it hard to get up there. Let's see.
Oh, no.
Also, I've noticed server game performance since all these updates has gone, or server performance, game performance, whatever, client performance, whatever you want to call it, has gotten a little bit laggier since of all these reskins. And that might just be me, but I'm running a pretty top-end system, so I don't see why that's an issue. But if you look closely, can you see the gap between every single wall? All this brick has been built before the patch. And it did snap perfectly beforehand. Now it doesn't. Not only does it leave like a 5-inch gap, it also, I'm hearing reports that people can shoot through it, like arrows, muskets. I mean, that's a security risk. Not only that, you couldn't even rebuild it to fix it as it sits, unless you had a bunch of brick on hand. The other issue we're experiencing is non-primitive drops all over the place. People are getting fabricators, metal walls, metal doors, door frames. None of that has been removed. So the only solution that people have as it sits, if they want to progress, is to build in metal because they can't build in brick.
Exactly.
So is there anything else we want to cover before we do our closing statements there, Lucy?
No, just that we appreciate you guys hanging tight with us, and we just wanted to give you the information, because I know for myself, when I reach out to the dev and some of his statements about not crying over spilled milk and other people saying to give the guy a break, but we all invest so much of our time, and it's not necessarily that we are putting him down, it's that we just want to know what's going on. We just want to have an ETA and kind of know when to expect to get to play again.
So people I think the main issue is people don't know if the server's getting wiped or not, right? So they don't want to invest too much time into something if it's just going to disappear. And I totally agree. But as admins of a server, it's difficult to, it's difficult not to wipe because, like Lucy said earlier, new players are going to come in. They're not going to have those blueprints available. They're not going to have fabricators, sniper rifles. They're going to have to get those rare drops or trade from other tribes, which is cool, but in the end, it's not. It's really not primitive, and it's gotten to the point where everybody has all of the high tech stuff. So either one of two things. I'm holding off on a wipe because I'm waiting for Sed, I think is his name. If his next patch pretty much fixes everything and pulls all the non-primitive stuff, I'm going to keep everything the way it is, right? However, that's very positive thinking. Most likely, he's going to come out with a fix. The walls are going to snap, but it's not going to fix what's here. People are going to have to rebuild all their bases, and it's probably not going to remove all of the non-primitive stuff. And even if it does, it's probably not going to stop the non-primitive drops. So, in conclusion, if he fixes everything and he removes all the non-primitive, we don't wipe. We're going to not wipe. If he fixes everything, but he doesn't pull all of the non-primitive stuff, we're going to end up having to wipe. And I know that's sad because a lot of people have put a lot of work in on the server. However, I am offering all pre-existing players, a huge starting bonus. You'll get, a 150 dinosaur force tamed by admin, meaning that it'll be a 225 perfect tame, random sex, male or female, dino of your choice when you start out. No Geigas or Ketzes. So that's just something to keep in mind. Or you can have starting tools. It doesn't have to be a dinosaur. Another advantage is I wanted to throw out there, if we do end up wiping, I'm probably going to end up enabling Geigas as being spawnable and tameable, and Ketzes are already spawnable, but they're already tameable. But I think I'm also, as a counter to Geigas, I'm going to enable Ketzes to have organic turrets on the back. I know a lot of people think that's OP. However, I think it's a good part of the game. I don't think Geigas are too broken because of the center map that we're on. If you look here, I mean, it's just tons and tons of islands. And with ×2 dino spawn throughout and ×4 wild dino damage, just getting a Geiga from point A to point B is going to be very difficult. They don't swim well. They'll get killed by mantas super fast. It's even if you did get them from point A to point B, it's gonna take a very long time. They can't be flown. They can't be flown on the back of Ketzes, and they can't be transported by rafts. And even if they do get from point A to point B, all people have to do to avoid Geigas is build up high, kind of like the tower base we have up there in the sky. I know you can't see it because of the sunlight.
We also decided that since spiders don't really have a good purpose, that we were going to go ahead and continue to keep the bug of having too much weight. At this point, it kind of gives it a purpose, and it can be your harvesting dino.
Yeah, I really liked the bug, and I know it was kind of insane when I leveled up Drider before the last ARK patch. It wasn't a mod patch.
Let me interrupt, Alcarin. I think
go
we're
ahead.
getting a photo bomb. If you look up in the air, you got a Ketz up there.
Where's the... Oh, who's that?
I don't know.
That's Wraith Clan with no turrets on the back.
Not very dangerous.
Not very dangerous. Okay, so but basically what I would like to do, I'm not really sure how to do it yet. There was a bug before that was fixed, no pun intended, that the spiders had insane carry weight. I mean, I got a 140 wild, perfect tamed, or close to perfect tame, and it basically had like 6,300 carry weight, and it made it the best ground carrying dinosaur, and I really like that. It gave it a purpose. As it sits, they're not that useful. They're not that great for PvP. They're not that great at tanks. They're not that fast. But now they fixed the bug, and what's its carry weight now? I think after I leveled it up and stacked a ton of weight, it had like 69,000 carry weight. Now it's down to, 1746. So I think 69,000 is insane, but I don't think 10,000 is insane. What do you guys think? Leave the comments down there.
And then another thing, a challenge for the devs, not just said, but also his employers, we need him to focus on getting this fixed. He continues to put videos out about giving reviews for other game mods, and then also they keep putting him on other projects. The reason why Primitive Plus was bought out and why they added it was because it was so popular, and I just don't get why they're not giving it the focus it deserves.
Exactly. So I think, unless, Lucy, there's more in your notes that I haven't covered. Is there?
No, we just want you guys to stay tuned for our next video, and we just love you guys being a part of this, and let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you so much. Please don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace
Peace.
out.